According to my personal rules, there's honesty with myself, using positive words, noticing what's good, what you truly like, thinking and speaking constructively, feeling like a man or a woman in every situation, depending on the body you're in, switching quickly, being grateful for everything, being ready to die, not exaggerating and not downplaying. And when you follow that rule, everything starts to harmonize. But as soon as you approach a critical point, say 97% of a harmonious life, it becomes almost necessary about once every 2 weeks to lie to yourself, focus on the ugly stuff, think in negatives, forget who you are, man or woman, identify with something you're not, exaggerate or minimize things. If you don't break this law, the one I'm giving you myself, then you'll be removed from this reality. Here's an example of how the subconscious works. You've got a clear program and you've decided to start eating right. Or you've decided to hit the gym or maybe start running regularly in the mornings. You know what's going to happen? You'll start filling up the space that was meant for that. And within about 2 weeks, you'll have filled it. At that point, you'll need to start aligning other areas of your life so they match the fact that you're eating clean, running, or cold plunging. So if the rest of your life doesn't evolve in harmony, you'll start to crash with your running, gym, vegetarianism, or healthy diet. And it'll look something like this. You wake up in the middle of the night, open the fridge, and eat all the meat inside. Basically, that's your safety system kicking in, so that this obsession with being right doesn't destroy you. I mean, sure, we can all become billionaires, but the issue is most of us would end up dead billionaires. And that's kind of inconvenient because we'd actually like to enjoy the money. We can become billionaires, but in the negative vector. That would mean metaphorically selling your soul to the devil, living in a distorted reality, being stuck in lies, betrayal, manipulation, exaggeration, minimizing and screwing people over, and feeling miserable about it. We can live in the positive vector too, but that means letting every extreme pass through you, whether it's acceptance or resistance, the worst case or the best case scenario. You have to face it, feel it, and move through it. Then every $100 you earn, you'll have to be mentally ready to either lose or gain, and stay chill about it either way. And every time you step into that space, whether it's about relationships, money, or creativity, you'll need to accept the worst case scenario. And that too is a pretty intense ride. You can become a blonde, get a lobotomy, crank up your primal sexuality, have diamonds the size of rocks, drive a Bentley, and people will still say Palienko stuff doesn't work. But the minus vector, that works. You know why? There are only 2 states, fully open or fully closed. So when a woman is closed, she can have all the diamonds and money in the world, but she won't connect with any of it. A diamond becomes just another rock. She just needs someone to tell the story right, like that joke about the Stradivarius violin. Apparently, violins are out. The new trend? Stradivarius drums. Same kind of story. And boom, she's walking around with a drum thinking she's the next big thing. It's not that they're doing it wrong, they just don't understand how it actually works. If they did, they'd make better use of what, say, medicine offers, like when men look at a blonde who's all silicone, even her heart seems fake and she thinks it's hot. But to silicone-minded men, I'm talking brains now, that's totally fine. The more artificial the guy in the minus vector, the more he's into artificial women. But if you want to connect with a man who feels deeply, you'll have to enhance your beauty in a more natural way, or at least not end up being 50% silicone and 50% you. Let's aim for at least 15 out of 85. So here we are, and we get to choose. Live in the minus vector or in the plus vector. But let me tell you, neither of those paths is exactly a cakewalk. I used to say this: you can either move toward love, that's the plus vector, or head into the minus vector. Anger, lies, betrayal, judgment, and all the drama. There's a third option too, but it's not easy. It's about shifting your focus not on outcomes, but on the process. You start living in the flow, and then your inner program starts showing itself through you. On one hand, you feel it. On the other, you're ready to die every second, and at the same time, be ready to live for 10,000 years. I've talked about this before. That's what we call the zero state, divine, closest to the ether, closest to being in perfect sync with yourself and your program. In that space, you're barely affected by the low vibe laws that were meant to limit you, the ones created by those entities in charge. So even when we're living in the plus vector, we're still bound by feelings. And what are feelings? They're coded information coming from the future. Thoughts and images, those are always from the past. But feelings, they're the future. Still unopened, like a file waiting to be unpacked. When you feel pulled towards something, again, don't confuse fear with desire or curiosity. You can start a business out of fear or out of genuine interest. Interest is written into your program. Fear is just your refusal to stay in the past, or stay broke, or stay sick. So if your decisions come from I don't want to be poor, or I don't want to be fat, or I don't want to be sick, you're moving in the minus vector. That road won't lead to anything good. But when you say, I want to be wealthy, I want to be fit, I want to be healthy, that's a whole different story. Now let's take this into the plane of relationships. This is still the setup. The topic is having children. There's a state where we're truly able to bring children into the world. It means I love myself, and from that abundance, I love my partner. My partner loves herself, and from that abundance, she loves me. In that space, we don't plan kids. A child is conceived in a moment of joy when we make love with pleasure. And that child carries the amplified energy of our love for the world and for ourselves. The key is that in harmony, we're loving ourselves. In our partner, we love what we already love in ourselves. I like these restaurants, and he likes the same ones. I enjoy that theater, and so does he. I like this kind of vacation, and he's into the same. I like this style, and he loves it too. We're in sync. What I love in him is really what I already love in me. Sure, we can love someone in a consumerist way too. We love in them what we don't have but wish we did. That's a needy kind of love, and sadly, it never ends well. You just end up leeching their energy. As long as they've got reserves, they'll stick around. But the moment you drain them without transforming, they'll either lose it, run from you, or start acting out just to survive. And if they don't, if they fake like everything's okay, they'll start getting sick and eventually die. But that's not what we're aiming for. When we love ourselves and our partner loves themselves, and we love ourselves through each other, then when a child is born from that union, they carry a powerful effect. They always create a shift in this world. That's what we need. Children born from love, joy, and inner wholeness.